And from a still frigid and still undisclosed location, this is Kurt Berglund joining you for another Stratomatic Gem Series game featuring the 1970 Baltimore Orioles and the 1984 Detroit Tigers. Game 1 was an amazing finish, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I would encourage you to take a look back and check it out if you haven't. Please click like and subscribe to my channel to stay updated on all these web gem series that I'm doing. If you've been watching, you know that these are best of 3 series. 1-1-1 as far as home games go against the best teams of the last 50 years or so, 50 or 60 years. So that's where we are right now. We have Game 2 right now in Tiger Stadium. The 84 Tigers are hosting this one, and it is a bad night for baseball. It's going to be pretty easy to get one out of here, but it's still going to be a bad night for baseball, so the singles are going to be held down, and so are the homers a little bit based on the weather effects. The opposing pitchers for the Baltimore Orioles will be Mike Cuellar, winner of 24 games in 1970, and for the Detroit Tigers will be Dan Petrie, who won 18 games in 1984. Yes. So let's go through the lineups. We're using the DH today because this was the Detroit Tigers in 1984 used the DH, and they're at home. So we're going with that. The lineups are as follows. For the visiting Baltimore Orioles, left fielder Don Buford leads off. Merv Rettenman bats second, and he will be, and Rettenman will be the DH. Boog Powell will bat third. He is at first base. Frank Robinson will bat fourth. He's in right field. Elrod Hendricks will be the catcher, and he bats fifth. Brooks Robinson will bat sixth and play third base. Davey Johnson will bat seventh and play second base. Mark Belanger will bat eighth and play shortstop. And Paul Blair will bat ninth and play center field. For the homestanding 1984 Detroit Tigers, batting first and playing shortstop, Alan Trammell against the left-hander. Batting second and playing second base, Lou Whitaker. Batting third and playing right field, Kirk Gibson. Batting fourth and playing center field, Chet Lemon. Batting sixth and playing left field, Larry Herndon. Batting sixth and playing first base, Darrell Evans. Batting seventh and playing catcher, Lance Parrish. Batting eighth and the designated hitter today, Barbaro Garbe. And batting ninth and playing third base, I can't believe it either, it's Tom Brookins. All right. So that's the lineup. This is a must-win game for Detroit. They have all hands on deck, except for their starting pitcher yesterday, Jack Morris, and their starting pitcher, should we go to a Game 3, will be Milt Wilcox. Those two guys are off limits. Everybody else in the bullpen can be used. And, of course, Sparky Anderson did use his bullpen. All right, so we're in Detroit. Don Buford will stand in against Dan Petrie. And here we go with Game 2. And that's a strikeout for Buford on a Petrie fastball. Merv Rettenman, the hero, one of the heroes of yesterday's game, draws a walk. And he's on first. Boog Powell, one out, one on. Fly ball to center. Chet Lemon's got plenty of room, and that's 2 down. And Frank Robinson, 2 outs in the top of the first. Frank hits a fly ball to center. Chet's going to go back toward the wall. He's on the warning track, but he has room, and he makes the catch. We go to the bottom of the first, and we have no score. Mike Cuellar stands on the mound, ready to face the Tigers. One of those pitchers that if you don't get to him early, tended to shut you down. Trammell walks to lead off the first inning. Cuellar has an excellent hold, so Trammell's going to stick where he is. Whitaker stands in against Cuellar, and he lines a base hit to left. Buford fields it on a hop, and Trammell will stop at second base. Kirk Gibson with two on, nobody out. Ground ball second. Dave Johnson's going to go the easy way to Powell, and both runners will move up. Trammell's on third. Whitaker's on second. We're in the bottom of the first. We have no score. Chet Lemon stands in against Cuellar. He struck him out on a screwball. That's 2 down, and Larry Herndon is due up. The pitch to Larry. Fly ball to center. This is Blair, and he will make the catch for the third out of the inning. Cuellar allows 2 men on with nobody out, and the Tigers do not score. We go to the second. It's Hendricks, Brooks Robinson, and Dave Johnson due up for Baltimore. Line drive, base hit, Hendricks down the right field line. Gibson's going to dig it out of there, but Elrod's going to get to second with a double. He hit 9 of them in the 1970 season. Brooks Robinson stands in. Line drive off of Brooken's glove. Everybody's going to be safe. Hendricks moves up to third. Brooks is safe at first. And Dave Johnson stands in. The Tiger defense is at... the Tiger defense is in at the corners. In at the corners for Johnson. That's a chance for Parrish. And Lance Parrish we have a chance for a passed ball. No passed ball. Parrish blocks it. So another pitch to Johnson with a 1-0 count. Line drive, base hit, Johnson. That's going to score Hendricks. Brooks will stop at second. It's 1-0 Baltimore. Belanger stands in. There's 2 men on with nobody out. Tempting to make him bunt, but they're not gonna do it. Pitch to Belanger is a line shot at Trammell. He's got it. 1 down. Brooks is still on second. Johnson's still on first. The Orioles have scored 1 run this inning. Blair at the plate. Ground ball short. That's Belanger. I'm sorry, that's Trammell. Trammell to Whitaker to Evans, and that's a double play, and by not making Belanger bunt, the Orioles shorten their inning, but they do score 1 and take a 1-0 lead after 1.5 here in Game 2. Cuellar gets Evans to hit a fly ball to right. Frank Robinson's got plenty of room, and that's 1 down. Lance Parrish. Lance hits a ground ball to Dave Johnson. And Dave Johnson winds up and throws that thing to Chicago, and it's going to be a 2-base error, and Lance Parrish ends up on second base. A 2-base error on Dave Johnson. Barbaro Garbe, chance to tie the game. Garbe, ground ball, Brooks Robinson. And Brooks Robinson makes the play and holds Parrish at second, and that's 2 down. And Tom Brookins, boy oh boy, when you need an RBI, Tom Brookins is up. Parrish is on second. Cuellar to the belt. The pitch home is a looper, and a base hit for Brookins. But Parrish is slow, so he stops at third. We have runners at the corners now for the Tigers with 2 outs, and Cuellar's in a jam again. Trammell at bat, and a base hit up the middle for Trammell. The Tigers have tied the score. Parrish scores after reaching base on the error by Johnson. Brookins is around second, and he will put on the brakes and hold. It's first and second with 2 outs for Whitaker. The Tigers have tied the score in the bottom of the second. Lou hits a grounder to Johnson. He's going to flip to Belanger, and that retires the side, but not before the 84 Tigers get a run and tie this one up at 1. We go to the top of the third, and it's Don Buford leading off for the Orioles. Ground ball short, that's Trammell. He's going to throw to Evans, and that's 1 down. Merv Rettenmund reached on a walk in the first. That's going to be a chance for Parrish. It's not an error, and it's a bouncer in front of the plate. Rettenmund gets sawed off. Parrish jumps on it and throws to Evans for the out. That's 2 down. And Boog Powell is 0 for 1 today. And Boog hits a grounder to second. That's Whitaker. And Lou, E18. And Lou throws to Evans, and that retires the side. That's Petrie's first 1, 2, 3. And we go to the bottom of the third with the score tied at 1. Kirk Gibson, Chet Lemon, Larry Herndon against Cuellar in the bottom of the third. And Kirk strikes out on some Cuellar gas. Chet Lemon 0 for 1 today. More gas by Cuellar, 2 down, and Herndon. And that's some final gas as Cuellar strikes out the side in the bottom of the third. We go to the fourth. Let's see if that gives the Orioles a boost. A little momentum. Frank Robinson, Elrod Hendricks, Brooks Robinson due in the fourth. Frank's 0 for 1. Line drive, base hit, Frank Robinson. Sparky's going to get Baron Gare warming in the bullpen. It's early. Everybody knows it's early. But everybody also knows if the Tigers lose, that's it. So Sparky's not messing around. Elrod Hendricks stands in with Frank Robinson on first. Line drive, center field, Chet Lemon lays out, and a diving catch. 1 down in the fourth. Frank Robinson returns to first base. Brooks Robinson stands in. He's 1 for 1. Fly ball right field. Kirk Gibson is on the run. He is on the run. He is on the run and makes the catch. 2 down. and Dave Johnson. One for one today. He drove in the only run for the Orioles. Fly ball, soup, 2 up. Balk chance. Petrie didn't balk. Pitch to Johnson is a fly ball to center. Same thing. Chet Lemon back a little bit, and he makes the catch. That retires the Orioles in the 4th. And we go to the bottom of the 4th with the score tied at 1. Cuellar on the hill. Struck out all 3 batters he faced in the 3rd. Darrell Evans, fly ball to left. That's Buford, 1 down. Lance Parrish, 0 for 1 today. Run scored. Hit deep, way back for Parrish, and that's gone. Lance Parrish with his 2nd homer of the series and gives the Tigers a 2-1 lead. Barbaro Garbe with 1 out in the 4th. He strikes out on a Cuellar screwball. And Brookins, 1 for 1 today. I can't believe it either. The pitch of Tommy, fly ball left field, that's Buford. And that will retire the Tigers in the 4th. But the Tigers take a 2-1 lead on the strength of a Lance Parrish home run. It's now 84 Tigers 2, 1970 Orioles 1. Petrie against Belanger, top of the 5th. Looper, base hit Belanger. Marks on. Blair. Got some options here with Blair, and Earl Weaver is very uncharacteristically going to give him the sacrifice bunt sign. And he gets it down. Yes, he does. Lance Parrish is on it. Throws to Whitaker covering first, and Belanger moves up. Belanger on second. He's the tying run. Buford stands in against Petrie. Line drive. Leaping grab by Lou Whitaker, and that's 2 down. Merv Rettenman stands in with a chance to tie the score. Merv came up big in game 1. And he draws a walk here, and so Petrie's got 2 on with 2 outs for Boog Powell. Sparky is going to get the bullpen going again. This time, it's going to be Sid Manji warming up. Very effective reliever in the 70s and 80s, winding things down with the 84 Tigers. Boog Powell 0 for 2 today. Belanger takes his lead off second. Rettenman takes his lead off first. The pitch to Boog is a line drive base hit. Powell delivers Belanger with the tying run. Rettenman gets all the way to third. It's 1st and 3rd with 2 outs for Baltimore. Frank Robinson stands in. Now Doug Bear is going to join. Doug Bear is going to join Manji getting ready in the Tiger bullpen. Frank Robinson stands in. Petrie might be on fumes here. He's been in trouble. Rettenman at third, Powell at first. There's 2 outs, and the game is tied at 2. Frank Robinson, one of the greatest clutch hitters the game's ever known, standing in against Petrie. Line drive, base hit, Frank Robinson. That's going to score Rettenman. Boog Powell, to the delight of the crowd, makes it all the way to third base, and Ellie Hendricks is going to stand in. The Orioles lead again by 3-2. Here comes Sparky. He wants, if that's the word I'm looking for, Sid Manji from the bullpen to face Hendricks. Bear continues to throw, and Manji will face Hendricks with 2 outs. Powell's on third. Frank Robinson's on first. and he just drove in the lead run. Hendricks is 1 for 2. He doubled and scored in the second. The pitch to Ellie is a line drive caught by Whitaker, which ends the inning. However, the 84 Tigers now trail the 1970 Orioles by a score of 3-2. All right, so Bear sits down. Petrie is out. Cuellar is still in. Cuellar will face Trammell, Whitaker, and Gibson in the bottom of the fifth. Tigers trail by a run. If they lose, it's over. Pitch to Trammell. Hit deep. Way back. Alan Trammell's tied the game. We're tied at 3. A bomb by Trammell to the left field bleachers. Just misses the upper deck. And we're tied at 3. Cuellar to Whitaker, who's 1 for 2 today. Line drive, Whitaker, base hit. Now Earl's got to be thinking about the bullpen. They're moving around, but nobody's up yet. Gibson's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Batting here in the fifth. Gibson walks. That's going to get action up in the Oriole pen. And Tom Phoebus is the man here in the fifth to warm up. Lemon is on against Cuellar. Whitaker's at second. Gibson's at first. There's nobody out, and we have a tie game. We're in the bottom of the fifth. Fly ball center field. That's Blair. Paul Blair. Excuse me. Makes the grab. Whitaker's on second. And Whitaker's going to try for third. He has a 70% chance. He's going, and he makes it. So Lemon flies out, but moves Whitaker up a base, and Gibson holds it first. So with one man out, there's runners at first and third. Whitaker's at second, Gibson's at first, and Herndon steps in against Cuellar. The pitch to Larry. Ground ball, Brooks Robinson. Ground ball, Brooks Robinson. Brooks to Johnson to Powell, an inning-ending, rally-killing double play. And that retires the side in the bottom of the fifth. But after 5, we've decided nothing. Brooks Robinson, Dave Johnson, Mark Belanger due in the 6th, and so it's going to be Doug Bear on for Detroit. Doug Bear is on for the Tigers to do the pitching. In 1984, Doug Bear was 5-3 with a 3.75 earned run average. He had 4 saves, and he had 94 innings of work with only 1 start. So he's going to face Brooks Robinson, Dave Johnson, and Mark Belanger in the 6th. Brooks is 1 for 2. He strikes out on a Bear breaking ball, which is not easy to say, and I don't recommend it. Dave Johnson stands in, 1 for 2. Line drive caught by Brookins, 2 down, and Mark Belanger, 1 for 2 today, scored a run in the 5th. That's a looping base hit over Trammell's outstretched glove, and Belanger's on with 2 outs. Paul Blair stands in, and he draws, nope, wild pitch chance, nope. Pitch to Blair is a strikeout on a breaking ball by Bear. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Hold on one second. Real life ensuing. We'll be right back. We have a tie score. And thank you for indulging me while real life ensued. We are tied at 3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. The 1970 Orioles are at the 1984 Tigers. And we've decided nothing. It's 3-3. On the mound here in the bottom of the 6th continues Mike Cuellar, the Orioles starter, who won 24 games in 1970. Darrell Evans stands in against the Orioles left-hander. Darrell is 0 for 2 today. And he draws a walk to lead off the 6th. Lance Parrish is 1 for 2. He scored 2 runs. He hit a home run in the bottom of the 4th. Line shot, caught by Brooks Robinson, fires to Boog Powell, and that's a double play. Evans with an uncharacteristic base-running gaff. Barbaro Garbe 0 for 2 today. He's the DH for Detroit. And he hits a fly ball to center that Blair's going to have plenty of room for. And that retires the side in the 6th. We go to the 7th. And we're tied at 3. Doug Bear pitched a good 6th. He's on for the 7th. And Aurelio Lopez, Senor Smoke, is throwing in the Tiger bullpen. Buford leads off. It'll be Buford, Rettenmund, and Powell. Buford draws a walk, and he's aboard. Rettenmund is 0 for 1 today. He's walked twice. He's scored a run. He was a weapon for Earl Weaver, and they could have him bunt here, but they're not gonna. Buford's on. Rettenmund, the pitch from Bear. Hey, pass ball chance for Lance Parrish. Not a pass ball. Parrish blocks the pitch. Ball 1. The next one to Rettenmund is a walk. Wow. Well, now there's a mess. Nobody out. 2 men on for Baltimore. Powell is due. A left-hander is not available, or at least isn't in the Tiger bullpen. So they're going to go to Lopez. Bear pitched 1 inning and walked both men he faced in his 2nd inning of work. So Aurelio Lopez is on here in the 7th inning. Let's tell you about him. In 1984, Aurelio Lopez went 10-1 with a 2.94 earned run average. He saved 14 games. He had no starts, and he had 138 innings of work. Think Sparky worked his bullpen? I do. Okay, so Lopez is on. Powell, 1 for 3 with a ribby. He's got Buford on second and Redmond on first. This is a chance for the Orioles to blow this thing open. Lopez to the belt. The pitch. It's hit deep to right. Gibson is back to the wall. And it's gone in the upper deck. Boog Powell just deposited one in the upper deck of the right field in Tiger Stadium. And it's now the 1970 Orioles 6 and the 1984 Tigers 3 with nobody out. And Frank Robinson stepping in. Frank is 2 for 3 today with a ribby. Frank line drive base hit. He's on. Well, they're going to give Lopez one more batter, I guess, before they stand anybody up in the bullpen. Hendricks is up. He's 1 for 3. Aurelio hits a ground ball to Evans. Evans is going to throw to Trammell for 1, and that's all they'll get. 1 down here in the 7th. Brooks Robinson 1 for 3 today. And Brooks strikes out. That's 2 down. Senor Smoke throwing some heat. And Dave Johnson, 1 for 3 today with a ribby. Hendricks still on first. And he throws gas. And that retires the Orioles in the 7th. But, not before a 3-run Boog Powell bomb to the upper deck in right field at Old Tiger Stadium makes the score Orioles 6, Tigers 3. Tom Brookins will lead off the Tigers 7th with a little reluctance, but they're going to do it anyway. Ground ball short, that's Belanger to Powell, and that's 1 down. Alan Trammell, 2 for 2 today with a home run himself. Ground ball Belanger. Over to Boog, and that's 2 down. Lou Whitaker. Lou is 2 for 3 today. And it's a comebacker to Cuellar. And that's going to retire the side. We go to the 8th. And the Tigers beginning to get a little bit desperate. As we have the score of the 1970 Orioles 6, the 1984 Tigers 3. And Mark Belanger, 2 for 3 today with a run scored, leading off. Fly ball left field. Herndon coming on, and he's going to make the catch for out number 1. Paul Blair, 0 for 2. Ground ball Trammell. The throw to Evans is in time for out number 2. And Don Buford, 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Hits a ground ball to Evans. He's going to flip to Lopez, and that will retire the Orioles in the 8th. However, Cuellar will take the mound and is still leading with 6 outs to go in this series, potentially, is still leading by a score of 6-3. Kirk Gibson's 0 for 2 with a walk. He draws another walk. That's not what Cuellar wanted to do. And that's going to get action in the Oriole bullpen. Watt and Richards are going to throw. Earl is reaching for the Chesterfields as he wants to close this thing out in Detroit. Chet Lemon 0 for 3, 2 whiffs. Line drive, base hit, Lemon. Gibson's going to go all the way to third base, and the Tigers have men at the corners and the tying run at the plate in the bottom of the 8th. Larry Herndon stands in. Larry hit 7 bombs in 1984, the right-handed half of their platoon combo in left field. Herndon's 0 for 3 in this one with a double play in the 5th. Line drive, base hit. That's going to go for extra bases all the way to the wall in right center field. Gibson scores. Lemon scores. Herndon stops at third. We have a 6-5 ball game, and the Tiger fans are interested one more time. That's going to be it for Cuellar as Earl comes out. And Earl waited a little too long on Cuellar. He's going to Richard here in the 8th. Evans is due, and he will bat. Evans is 0 for 2 with a walk today. Herndon's on third. He's the tying run. The Oriole defense is in everywhere. In everywhere. There's nobody out. Evans strikes out against Richard. Richard throws gas. 1 down. Watt is ready. Oh, man. But Eddie Watt was not invincible in 1970. They're going to stick with Richards. Parrish, 1 for 3 today with a home run in the 4th. Infield, in, everywhere. Strikes out Parrish. 2 down. Garbe is due. Oriole defense moves to normal depth. Richard staying in. Weaver's going with him. Garbe 0 for 3 today against the left-hander Cuellar. He's going to stay on against the left-hander Richard. The pitch. Ground ball comebacker. Richard will throw to Powell and retire the side. We go to the 9th. The Tigers had a man at third with nobody out and did not score him. We go to the 9th. It's Rettenmund Powell and Frank Robinson to face. They're going to go to Berenguer. Juan Berenguer will come on for the 9th. The 1970 Orioles are leading the 1984 Tigers by a score of 6-5. If the Tigers lose, the series is over. Merv Rettenmund leads off. He's 0 for 1. He's walked 3 times. He has scored 2 times. Berenguer, the wind, the pitch. Fly ball center field. That's going to be Chet Lemon. And that's going to be 1 out. Boog Powell, 2 for 4. 4 ribbies. He homered in the 7th. Walked him. Walked Powell. Frank Robinson. They got to get Willie up now. See, that just walks just cause all sorts of problems. Willie Hernandez warming up. Not the hero of game 1 for the Tigers. Pitch to Frank Robinson. Frank's 3 for 4 with a ribby today. Line drive, base hit, left field, Frank Robinson. Powell stops at second. There's men at first and second for Ellie Hendricks. Hernandez is not loose yet. They're going to him anyway. Berenguer comes out. Hernandez comes on to face the left-hander Hendricks. The Orioles want that run. So how are they going to play this one? They're going to hit for Hendricks. And it's going to be Moten again, hitting for Hendricks. With one out, Powell's on second, Frank Robinson's on first, Kurt Moten stands in. He hit .226 in 1970 and 84 at bats with a .369 on base average. Hernandez facing the right-hander Moten. Not fully warmed up yet. He strikes out Moten on the screwball. Brooks Robinson standing in. 2 outs. 2 on. Powell on second. It's going to take a triple to score him from second. 2 outs. Hernandez, the pitch. Ground ball Whitaker. Lou throws out Robinson at first base to Evans, and that will retire the Orioles. But we go to the bottom of the ninth. Richard coming out on the mound. As he did in Game 1, the new catcher will be Andy Etchebarren, and he will be batting 5th. In the Oriole lineup, should we go to extra innings? Eddie Watt is loose. Dick Hall. No, I'm wrong. Marcelino Lopez and Eddie Watt are loose in the bullpen for Baltimore. They have a 1-run lead. It's the 1970 Orioles 6, the 1984 Tigers 5. Tigers must win or the series is over. Tom Brookins due to lead off. And I don't know what Sparky would have done, but not in this lifetime. And so it's going to be Rusty Kuntz leading off for the Tigers, pinch hitting for Brookins. Against Richard. The pitch to Rusty is gas. Rusty Kuntz just got blown away by Pete Richards. 1 down. Alan Trammell hit a homer in the 5th. He's 2 for 3 with 2 ribbies today. A homer, a walk. Pitch to Alan. Alan Trammell hit one deep. It's way back and it's off the wall. Going to be collected by Blair. But Trammell gets to second base with 1 man out. He is the tying run. Lou Whitaker stands in against the left-hander Richard with Kirk Gibson, another left-hander, on deck. Pitch to Lou. Pitch to Lou Whitaker. Ground ball second. Dave Johnson is going to throw to Powell. Trammell goes to third. He's the tying run at third for Kirk Gibson. They're going to stick with Richard. Kirk Gibson's 0 for 2. He's walked twice. He's scored a run. He's also struck out. Chet Lemon's on deck. The pitch from Richard. Series on the line. This is it. He strikes out Kirk Gibson. The ball game is over. The series is over. Pete Richard, what a job. 2 innings. Comes in the 8th with Larry Herndon on third and nobody out. Shuts the Tigers down in the 8th. And then does the job in the 9th with Alan Trammell on second base with 1 out. On third base with 2 outs. They don't score again. And the 70 Orioles will win this game and the series by a score of 6-5. Let's talk about the line score. For the Orioles, 6 runs on 4, 6, 8, 10 hits, 11 hits. And they committed 1 error. Dave Johnson with a 2-base throwing error. For the 1984 Tigers, 5 runs on 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 hits, and they committed no errors. The winning pitcher in this game is Mike Cuellar, who pitched well before tiring in the 8th. The losing pitcher is Dan Petrie, and no, I'm wrong about that. It's not Dan Petrie. The losing pitcher is Doug Bear, and the save goes to Richard. MVP of the series has to be Richard. Tempting to make it Boog Powell, who had 4 RBIs in the game, but Richard did the job today, and he did the job sort of in game 1. Thank you for watching and listening to this one. This is my 5th best gem series, and they're all a blast. The 1970 Orioles take this series by 2 one-run margins over the 1984 Detroit Tigers. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and so long, everybody.